What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes. This is going to be my first impression and the stat speculation of the new Spring Banner that we're going to be getting in the upcoming days. So the first Spring unit that we have is Spring Delthea, and she is a Blue Mage Cavalier, and she also has a preferred weapon, and this preferred weapon has legitimately got a copy pasta. It reminds me of the Navy SEAL copy pasta, honestly. So Bright Shell Egg provides her with -1 special cooldown, and at start of a turn she can inflict -6 visible speed and resistance debuff on the nearest foes within 5 spaces of her. So again, this is visible debuff, and this does have really good synergy with the cat skill. And if she's got a bonus active on herself or a penalty active on the opponent, then she can inflict -6 speed and resistance debuff on the foe during the combat as well, and then she can get the other effects depending on the total value of the bonuses on herself and the penalties on the foe. If the sum total is 6 or more, then she can get the partial null follow-up, which allows her to bypass any kind of follow-up negation skill. And if the sum total is 18 or more, then she can also get the fire sweep effect, and the opponent will not be able to counterattack. And yeah, they have just described with an example and everything, but it's a pretty straightforward effect. You're gonna be summing up the visible buffs on herself and the debuffs of the opponent, and she can already get the self buff with the Rouse 4 skill that she has got, and she also inflicts the visible debuff from her weapon itself. Keep in mind that skills like Distant Defense 4 or the skills that have penalty neutralization on the opponent are going to be able to be annoying to Delthea. So because of this fire sweep effect, she can definitely safely attack, which is definitely going to be helpful, as I imagine she's going to be having really low defense. And then, even though she's got the fire sweep effect, she's going to be having a bad matchup against Ascended Fiarm. So she also has the speed resistance 4 trace and also Rouse attack speed 4. So yeah, pretty self-sufficient base kit, I would say. She already has everything that she would need in this base kit, and you just need to make sure that she can get the debuff on the right opponents and also buff herself up, and just get the 2 effects here, the fire sweep effect and also the partial null follow-up. So yeah, she's going to be destroying this Red Thief, and I expect her to have this kind of stat spread. It's pretty obvious that she's going to be having extremely low defense and just high attack and speed. So she can function as a pretty nice Blue Mage Cavalier, but still against like the hardy fighter armors, she's still not going to be able to pierce through them like Brave Hector or Ascended Idun, as those units are going to be running Deflect Magic Sacred Seal now, as we are going to be getting Ninja Corin as a free reward from A Hero Rises. So I'm sure that is going to be catching up with the builds. And the next unit that we have is Spring Maria, and she's actually a Axe Flyer, which I didn't really expect. So this is something new, and she also ends up having a preferred weapon. Her sister didn't really have a preferred weapon last time on the Spring Banner, but yeah, she's got Pastel Poleaxe, which gives her +3 defense, and it has got Iode Shield built into it. So she's not going to be weak to the flyer effective damage, and she can get +5 to all of her stats and deals true damage based on 20% of her defense, and she can also reduce the damage from foes' attacks by 20% of her defense. And finally, she can restore 7 HP to herself and allies within 2 spaces after the combat. So definitely a pretty nice weapon, providing her with a bunch of stats and also self-healing, the Iode Shield present in it, and of course the extra damage and the damage reduction. She also has Rally Speed Defense Plus, Attack Defense Push 4, and then we have a new skill that is a mix of a Flow skill and the Flight skill. So this skill is only going to be active in the player phase, and it does have partial null follow-up built into it, so she can bypass the follow-up negation enemies. And if she's got more speed than the opponent after subtracting 10 speed from them, she can deal 70% true damage based on the difference between their defense stat, and also get the damage reduction based on that difference and 70% of that. So again, she's just going to be getting more damage output out of this weapon. Its true damage does cap at 7, so she can get the damage reduction and the true damage from the Slot B skill as well as her weapon. So defense is by far the most important stat for Maria, it seems, and she wants to stack that up. Now just to note that she doesn't need to have 10 extra speed than the opponent, it's just that she needs to have more speed than the opponent after you subtract 10 out of their speed. It is quite lenient speed check, I would say, and Maria is going to be a fast unit, I feel like, so she's going to be able to easily trigger this effect and use it to just full use. So this is what I expect out of Maria's stat spread. As we can see, she has got incredibly low HP at 35. That is like the HP of a range flyer almost. So I feel like she's going to be having really high defense and also really high speed to work well with her slot B skill. And high defense is something that Maria definitely needs. So it is pretty much given. And I think resistance is going to be the dump stat. So Spring Maria definitely ends up being a pretty interesting unit, having the no flyer weakness and then also getting the true damage and the damage reduction out of her base kit. And then we move on to the 4-star focus unit of this banner, and that is going to be Henry. So he is a colorless bow cavalier, and he does come with a new inheritable weapon in Carrot Tip Bow Plus. So this weapon does work off the visible debuffs on the enemy, and it can give you +5 attack and defense, and then depending on the total visible debuffs that you have on opponent's attack and defense, it can give you true damage. So if you lose an opponent, then you're essentially getting 10 true damage per hit, and that is really good for the damage output. And he also has Rally Defense Res Plus as a 4-star focus unit. So we did see Blue Flame before on Valentine Owain, and it seems like they're trying to give out these high scoring skills for arena purpose on these 4-star focus units, which I can definitely appreciate. And then he has got Brazen Attack Defense and Attack Defense Ruse. So yeah, this weapon is pretty nice for the true damage, but there's definitely going to be competition when it comes to bows. Obviously, there's just so many good options, and you can definitely run this bow with a smoke skill, menace skill, or just by having allies who debuff those stats and instead freeing up his slot B skill for maybe a trace skill or a loud skill. So I'm not really too sure how they're going to be just putting the stats on Henry, because he doesn't really outspeed a lance flyer here, so it's guaranteed that he's not going to be too fast. But it depends on how much low speed they want to give him. If they go that route, then he's going to be having more resistance. But if they're trying to give him decent amount of speed, like what I have over here in my speculation, we don't really have any kind of bow cavalier that is going to be having extremely high defense. So Henry, I guess, could stand out in that regard, just having high defense, workable speed, and high attack stat. And then we move on to the star of this banner, which is going to be Spring Sonya. So I'm actually really happy that she finally got an alt. I'm a big fan of Sonya, and she's accompanied by Tharja here, and they are a green mage flyer. And her playstyle is kind of similar to the normal version of Sonya, but she is a flying unit here, and she of course has a modern weapon. So Magic Rabbits provides her with -1 special cooldown, so Luna becomes a 2-turn special, and at the start of turn 1, she can pre-charge her special by -2. So she's going to be having a pre-charged Luna with this weapon, and she also has the movement utility of Halloween Noe and Ninja Green, where she can move to 2 spaces of any ally that is within 2 spaces of her. So that provides her with some incredible movement shenanigans. And then finally, she can get +4 attack and +6 speed during the combat, and then she can get even more attack depending on the max special cooldown multiplied by 3. Now it's worth noting that these kinds of skills always take the special cooldown after the weapon into the account. So Luna here is actually going to be considered like a 2 cooldown special, so it is going to be able to provide her with +6 attack with that formula. And we have seen this before with the Surge Sparrow skills as well, so just keep that in mind. So that she can hit really hard by getting a lot of attack and then having a pre-charge special. She also has attack speed unity, chill defense resistance, which is definitely not a very good skill. But to be fair, as a range flyer, her options are so limited. Like wind sweep and a trace skill is pretty much it. And even if you run a trace skill, it's not going to be giving you much movement utility, as you're just going to be warping. And then finally, she has a new 300 SP slotsy skill, which is speed resistance hold. And you can tell that this is a 300 SP slotsy skill because of its ugly yellow border, and also the fact that it doesn't really have a number. So this is basically a 3-space rain skill that is useful for arena scoring. That's pretty much it. It's a slight upgrade of the rain skill, and it just scores better in arena. So if you're trying to use a lot of flyers in arena, then this could be a good skill to have. But I wouldn't really upgrade the existing rain skills to this one, just because of the fact that it has got extra 1-space range, unless you really want to have this for the arena scoring. So yeah, she's going to be taking out this Lance Flyer, and she's really fast, and she actually has the highest base attack out of any kind of mage flyer in the game at base 42. And E3 is also a competition for Sonya, but her playstyle is completely different. Like E3 is bulky, and she also has a hit and run playstyle with the Canto that she has got. Sonya is more like a nuke and also a support unit. And by support unit, I mean with her harmonized skill. So she can grant -2 special cooldown to herself and the allies from the same titles as her, which is Shadows of Valentia and Awakening. And she also provides +6 visible buff and Resonance Blade effect to herself and the allies as well. So this pretty much includes Brave Alm, Legendary Chrom. We also have Duo Chrom. So you can run a bunch of AoE specials on these units and just use this harmonized skill and just have just nukes ready. So that is going to be a really powerful strategy in Summoner duels, and I feel like this is definitely a unit that is geared more towards Summoner duels because she is a flying nuke who can deal with a lot of the far-safe tanks, which are blue like Ascended Idun and Brave Hector. And because of the AoE damage, she's going to be doing the out of combat damage before she even initiates on them. And they are usually going to be running Hardy Fighter, Deflect Magic, stuff like that. So with the AoE damage, she can chunk them really hard and then most likely finish them off. So we'll have to see what her matchups are actually, but that's pretty much how she's going to be functioning as an AoE nuke who can warp like crazy. They actually showcase her warping here. We've already seen this on Halloween Noe and Ninja Green, but by far the strongest unit who has this kind of teleportation is Spring Sonya, because she can also have an AoE special on herself and not just have Luna. So you can run an AoE special on her and just run Quick and Pelt, or you know, just use her harmonized skill and charge it up and just nuke really hard. So she's going to be useful as a one-time nuke there in Summoner duels. Definitely going to be getting a lot of value there if you do manage to pull her. And that is going to be our banner. Our free-to-play unit with this banner is actually going to be Spring Luthier, and he is a Lance Cavalier. We do see him on this map here. So we already know his weapon and his skills. He comes with the same weapon as Spring Henry, but this is the Lance version. So just giving you true damage based on the attack and defense debuff on the opponent. And then he's got reposition, attack defense bond, and attack defense snag. So yeah, not the most stellar skills here. I mean, a bond skill is a really awkward skill on a Cavalier, and a snag skill is also not really too great, but I guess they had to put it on a Grail unit eventually. I'm really hoping that Luthier is actually fast and he's like a middle ground of Valentine Owain and Roshia, and I hope they do not make him like a completely slow unit, because then it's going to be even harder for him, because Lance Cavaliers have a lot of competition, and being really slow is not going to be doing you too many favors as you're forced to run quick riposte. So yeah, that is Spring Luthier. I'm really hoping that he can have decent stat spread, but just in general, as a unit without a preferred weapon or without a unique class, he's not going to be that incentivizing for many people unless they're a big fan of him. So this is a pretty nice bait banner right before A Hero Rises banner. Keep in mind that last year A Hero Rises banner did happen on 22nd March, so I do expect it to happen at the end of March sometime. So yeah, that is going to be an insanely good banner with 4 green units, and Sonya is a pretty nice bait for that. So you can always wait and see what your luck is on A Hero Rises banner. So that is going to be the banner. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. And I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, then make sure to leave a like and a comment. Helps out tremendously. And if you really enjoyed, you could always support me directly by using Super Thanks or by becoming a YouTube member. And for more FEH videos, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because YouTube sub boxes are about as tiresome as reading Delthea's weapon description. So with that said, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.